find the answers you've been looking for inside. Deep inside this heart of stone, I hope you find your way home.
It's Sunday, August 10th, and you're tuned into the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to Patriot Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Roots Across America Radio. Together, we share our mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach the future generations the value of freedom. A freedom secured by the men and women who wear our nation's uniform. Stay tuned for WP3. We got your 6 at 6. Currently playing on WP3 Radio, East of Jupiter by Andrew Wooten.
And I dreamed upon the moon as I watched it ride east of Jupiter, hoping that you might find the answers you've been looking for inside. Deep inside this heart of stone, I hope you find.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Tom Cruise, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Good evening. Welcome. I know there's music playing. I keep hearing this music popping in. All right. You know what? Thanks so much for being here today with me, Andrea Eichmann, and sharing all the pieces of your growth, the choices. It's a great way to help support those who need it in the grind. This is what we need to put back into our world. It helps us when we can validate through what you both have done through hard work. And it really means a lot to have you on our podcast. I'm talking to our guests right now, not just as guests, but as people who have served and sacrificed for something bigger than yourselves. Thank you for your time, your stories, and of course, your service. This is Andrea Eichmann here with the People's Patriot Project, and we're bringing you our weekly show called We Got Your 6 at 6. Central Time, of course. Every week we bring you a guest and often a new artist, and we share all the good and sometimes not so good things happening in our world. This week, our awesome guests are Mike Deibler. He's got Veteran Command, and we've got Michael Lisenby sharing his music. We also can't do this without the support of our amazing sponsors. I have a big shout out going out to Ruck Digital. This is Lee Mosler. He has been working on some technology, some social media, some making everything work and connect things going on. Soon we will have a new version of our website with tons of the bells and whistles. He was actually a guest not long ago. You can catch him on episode 264. Oh, from August 3rd. That's not long ago. That was like last week. Is that really last week? Oh my gosh, 2 weeks ago maybe. Anyway, it does say August 3rd, so we'll go with last week. We have Catch 22 with Derek Iozio, and I know Peterson is flashing through these logos. Catch 22, Operation Texas Strong, Peggy and Bobby Kretzinger, and you guys, they are like saints, seriously, delivering homes to homeless veterans in need, and they get these by RVs that were donated to them, and then they make the connections, get those veterans into these homes, and they even have a campground and a campground store. Pretty cool operation down there. And then we've got the Boho Hobos Hideaway with Lauren Iozio, and this is in Livingston, Texas. This is an Airbnb, cutest little place. If you just need to get away from like a whole bunch of it, if you need to maybe escape and write some music, I don't know what you got to do. Visit it. It's adorable and it's super cute and convenient. Then we've got Brian Kenzer. Brian Kenzer, he has his Smart Living. You need to talk to Brian about health, wellness, and supporting American families in the We P3 mission. You guys, these are products made in America and sold in America and used by Americans and a whole bunch of others. But it's one good way to keep balanced. I believe we've got his information coming up. Wait, Willis is in the house. You know what? If you can't get a hold of Brian, because you know what? He's out on a yacht in a race right now. I don't think he'll be here tonight. We get to see him tomorrow at our board meeting. Willis uses the same products. I use the whole shopping line. It's pretty amazing. And then mark your calendars across the country for December 13th. This is a powerful day of remembrance and honor as we join wreaths across America to lay wreaths on the graves of hundreds of thousands of veterans at national cemeteries across the country. At Fort Snelling National Cemetery here in Minnesota, we are committed to honoring every hero laid to rest, but we need your help. We are still tens of thousands of wreaths short of our goal to ensure that every veteran is remembered. Now is the time. You guys, there's like almost 200,000 military buried there, and then another 90,000 spouses and family buried there. We need a lot more wreaths to cover those veterans. Now's the time to act. Sponsor your wreath early and be part of this meaningful mission to remember, honor, and teach. You can visit this link that I'm going to put up there to learn more about sponsoring a wreath. And I mean, this is anywhere across the country. This link will just happen to take you to Fort Snelling because that's what we do. The People's Patriot Project took over hosting that. This will be our third year coming up, and it is tons of work, and it is tons of feel-good feelings when you see all those families putting wreaths to remember their loved ones out there. Let's come together. Make sure that no one is forgotten. We also have a special shout out to our brother Joe Meisch and his temple massager. You guys that are on our panel tonight, you'll probably hear more about this, but Peterson uses it to go to sleep. sometimes during the show. I don't know what's going on. It rubs his temples. It's very relaxing, and it's you guys, it's so cool. Use the code WEP3 when you submit your payment, and it will give you a 20% discount. That is for the People's Patriot Project. And it pretty much covers the shipping. So that makes it great. All of our sponsors, guest listeners, thank you so very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sponsoring and just continuously holding and participating. Before we easy for me to say, before we dive into this week's show, please take a moment, join us for this amazing version of the Star Spangled Banner with Dave Bray, USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
Here we go. Let's go.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America.
Great intro, guys.
Wow.
That song, huh?
I
That
tell you
version.
what, just the whole thing was just well done. That was awesome.
It's not the debut of Dave Brady's national anthem. The guy is on fire. He does amazing things. That is the debut of the Weepy 3 video to Dave Brady's national anthem, Star Spangled Banner. Me and Andrea, it wasn't an argument, but Star Spangled Banner is our national anthem. And how do you title it when you put it? But thank you, men and women who have thrown the uniform on. Thank you for what you have done to give us the freedoms and the liberties that we have tonight so we can celebrate. That is the greatest celebration song in the history of mankind. I cannot tell you how many tears I have wept at games that I've played, at moments I've watched, even tonight, just the fact that we get to sit here and do what we're doing tonight because of the men and women who have put that uniform on. We get to do this because of that. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. We can just drop the mic, right? We done? We can't. We got some super cool, super amazing guests tonight that if you haven't heard of them before tonight, you're here twice. Frank the Myth, good to see you, brother. Superstar Derek Iozio, Catch 22 peer support out of the great state of Alabama.
Bama.
David Willis, you can't be here, brother. You got your show to roll right now. Let's go
Vols.
That is right. Oh, I lost.
We should be saying Skull right now, right? Skull.
Oh, here's some more Demyth. Woo.
Skull.
Skull, really Skull, because they won a preseason game. We love them.
Hey. Start. I practiced this all week. This is Michael Lisenby up here.
Nailed it.
Also, I have it on the sheet, LIZ space EN space BEE. So that
Mark and Angie and I had a side bet on if you were going to screw it up or not.
We're not done yet.
Show's not over. You got it, Steve. You got it. Show's not over. No, this is the show of the mics because we also have Mike Deibler with Veteran Command and holy cool, amazing. Here's the deal, folks. It's not frustrating, but it's frustrating because our veterans and first responders don't know when to stop. They don't know when to give up. They don't know when to. There is no red flag. There's no white flag. They just keep. And Deibler is one of these guys that doesn't know when to stop. He's got his hands in everything, and he travels the world, and he has some amazing missions. And we're going to hear all of that stuff tonight. And so we're super excited about it. So why don't we kick this off a little bit? And as I don't know if people have noticed on the podcast, you won't notice this, but everyone's names are up front center, ready to go. And we have 2 mics tonight. Like I said, it's the mic show. But I practiced the names, and neither one of them are the easiest ones to do. We got Mike Deibler. Tell us about who you are. Tell us about your service, and tell us what the name of your mission is and what kind of the premise. Don't give us the whole thing. A lot of times you seem like a real nervous kind of guy.
Yeah.
Some of our pod guests who come on, they throw up all the stuff in the first 30 seconds, and then we get to play Brick Breaker for the rest of the show. So don't do that to us tonight, okay?
Hey, Mark, and thanks for having me on the show. My name is Mike Deibler, Michael Deibler. I know it looks like Deibler. All the drill sergeants said Deibler. but Deibler it is. So I'm a Army reservist currently. I think I got 2 more months till I hit 20 years in the reserves. So I'm on the last leg. I say I'll stay until I'm completely broken. I'm only a little bit broken, maybe a lot of bit, who knows, but we never quit, like Mark said. So yeah, so Mike Deibler, I'm the founder of Veteran Command, and Veteran Command is a brand that's meant to focus on veteran storytelling and find different ways to tell veteran stories. I believe that stories have the ability to impact the community, a culture, and a country. I think recalling those stories, the heroes of the world, we read them in books, we watch them on TV. Everyone's got a story, and if I can create ways to continue to spread veteran stories, because there's a lot of culture there. I feel like as America continues to develop or go in the direction in a direction that it's going, sometimes we lose our culture, we lose our identity, and where it all came from, what it all stood for. So I feel like the military community, the veteran first responder community, we have a culture there, a niche culture, and we all been through good, bad, and ugly together, side by side. In Afghanistan, we said Shana Bashana. So a lot of working together, and those stories can help a lot of people. We can help each other with them. We can help our family, help our kids, help our future generations. So there's a way that I can empower veterans to tell a story. I'm going to do that. And I did that with the creation of my DTS map, which I'll talk all about later on.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to say, and again, this really doesn't throw anyone under the bus, but these two gentlemen tonight were so spot on. They got all the pre-show stuff done, and they also showed up for our Tuesday night meet and greet, just to kind of see. It's been both of you been a blessing. I'm going to say that. Not that anyone else hasn't been a blessing, but we've all been in the service. We've all worked at, and we know who is going to show up and who's not going to show up, and you kind of increase your battle readiness because of those people. And again, a lot of our guests are fresh off the week, and so we don't know, and it is what it is. But we're excited. Thank you for being here, Mike. Both of you. I did that to catch both of you, Mr. Deibler, and very exciting. Liz and B.
Sir, hey, well, like you said, if you don't have to fight on hard mode, don't. Just, sometimes you can just, it's pretty straightforward sometimes. So if you just get your stuff done on time, makes life a lot easier.
Tell us who you are. Tell us about your service, and tell us about your mission, brother.
Well, yeah, my name is Michael Lisenby. I'm currently I'm out in the Nashville, Tennessee area, doing the dang thing as an independent singer songwriter. Before that, I was a police officer back in the greater Seattle metro area for some medium-sized departments. Did that for a little over 15 years, and in the process, I was always doing music along the way, singing in church, and then end up started moonlight with some patrol partners with the cover band at, when we were off shift, and started writing songs and kind of putting a lot of my stories to songs, and because that was a good way for me just to heal and deal with some of those issues. And then once I was dealing with some of my own stuff, which ended up being a big part of my transition out of law enforcement, and then music became a natural progression. And my wife kind of threw out the idea of like, well, if we're really getting out of this thing, what if that's my wife right there in the left there too, on the picture. It's like, well, if we're really gonna do this, what if we just sold everything and moved up to Nashville and really gave it a go, and just see where the good Lord's got us going. And that we just crossed 3 years out here, and we're still keeping the lights on and putting these stories into songs, and hopefully they're helping people along the way.
Well, we actually have 4 songs lined up for you, which you're going to go live tonight for us.
Sure. It's your show. I'll absolutely do it.
Well, I keep arguing with these guys. This is their show. Sunday night is our guest show. Monday night is our show. So take it away, Michael. Whatever. Do you know which one you're going to do? And is there a lead into it?
No. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of sorry if I step off the mic. Shoot. Can you guys still hear that all right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll leave with this one. This was an important one for me. And actually, I put out a couple of these. I put out some acoustic versions not too long ago. I wrote this one when I was particularly not. This happened a lot the idea came after. So back when I was a young cop, I started when I was 22, and when I was still young and thought I was just invincible, nothing can hurt me. I could just take on the world. I wrote this after we lost 4 cops in my area. They all 3 or 4 of them got ambushed in a coffee shop in Lakewood, Washington, and were murdered. And it hit me pretty hard, especially as on the younger side. I was, I'd only been on the job for like 2.5, 3 years. So still very, very junior as that regard, but it hit me really hard, specifically because I knew one of them. And that was kind of the first time I had been exposed to someone that I knew. I mean, I've been around folks that had passed away, family and stuff like that, but this is the first time I knew someone that was feloniously taken, like not at their hand. So it hit me pretty hard. And especially because, just a couple weeks before that, how I knew him, I was over at our state SWAT school, and he was one of my main instructors. And, it was a guy I really looked up to, just super squared away, SWAT team leader, Army Ranger, everything, the epitome. And then it really hit me because it made me give a big gut check on this job, on that. Not only did I have to start calculating the dangers that I could see just in front of me, the straight up, hey, suspect, whatever, you're always scanning, doing your thing. But, you start to have to calculate the dangers you don't see, and having that awareness had to really be switched on a lot more than I had led on to think that I was at the time. So I wrote this song, the idea, because ever since that incident, I've kept a special bottle of bourbon at home on my shelf, that whenever we have a line of duty death, I take a small pull off that to remember those we lost. The idea that even though they were taken too soon, we'll see them up again, up in heaven. We'll bring a bottle and we'll share another round. So it's called I Got a Bottle. I got a bottle sitting on my shelf, stands alone, strong and full of pain. It ain't the whiskey, but the hurt that still remains, gone too soon. I hope you're walking on streets paved with gold, talking with Jesus and your grandpa too. Wish you were here, but we'll meet again one day, and I'll bring the bottle. I'll bring the bottle, and I'll pour out around, talk about good times, but it was hard without you around. You flew off to heaven, but back home down below, it was hard to watch you go. The day you left us, the whole world seemed still. I didn't know which way was up or what to feel, but there was comfort in knowing that one day we'll meet again, and I'll bring the bottle. I'll bring the bottle, and I'll pour out around,
talk about good times, but was hard without you around. You flew off to heaven, but back home down below, it was hard to watch you go. I'll bring the bottle and I'll pour out around, talk about good times, but was hard without you around. Flew off to heaven, but back home down below, it was hard to watch you go. Oh, it was hard to watch you go. To watch you go. I got a bottle sitting on my shelf.
Holy cow, that is Michael Lisenby with I Got a Bottle. Brother, slam dunk. I have zero regrets in going live tonight. Love the content. I've been listening to your stuff all day long. It's different when it's live and we get to hear the real you. And thank you for having and doing that.
No, I appreciate y'all.
Oh, got the chill bumps now. What the hell? What the hell do you do with that?
No, I appreciate it. It was one that was always close to the chest, and I sat on it for a long time. I started playing it out, live, just because it kind of just helps tell where I'm from, stuff like that. But then I finally, put out just a simple version of it. But it's like I'm sure a lot of what we're going to be talking about. It's a very needed profession, both in the military and law enforcement. But we're all human, and there's a lot of real human hurt that comes along the way, and that everyone deals with it differently. But it's still a job that still needs to be done. And just know that those weight gets carried, and it's by somebody. But no, I appreciate y'all.
You're going to open Pandora's box if we keep talking like this, because I've watched people get upset for their nugget order at McDonald's not being accurate and appropriate. And these scummuckers out in society expect our men and women in blue to take it on the chin and just oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you have done. Thank you for your message. It's appreciated. And you know what? We go with the mantra of be better. And so if I start reflecting on that stuff, I'm not being better. So we're just going to keep being the model. We're going to let people see the green, and we're going to keep moving forward and shine bright in the lights and eyes of people. So thank you, Mr. Lisenby, and that amazing song. It was amazing.
Thank you, sir.
Deibler. I should probably let.
I'm done.
You're done?
Get out of here.
Yeah, I still got chills. Honestly, that's, it's so powerful. The story, the lead up. I got my phone's blowing up from people just saying, like, I'm crying already. I'm not crying, you're crying. That was really beautiful. Well done. Awesome lead in. So, it's an honor to be on the podcast with you. Thanks for sharing that. And the community is here to support. I feel it.
Make sure your people are commenting, and I don't know if they're just commenting on yours or you linked your stuff, so that make sure they're commenting. I don't know why I'm talking to you. Hey, if you like what you're hearing, comment, and we'll get your stuff up here. And if you're not on, if you're on a channel that we're not seeing your voice and seeing your words, I'm sorry, don't want to take away from anyone's algorithms, but jump over to the People's Patriot Project, or We Got Your 6 at 6, or Andrea, can you throw up the YouTube channel real quick, please? And just as an option for people, because we know people are hearing it in different places, and that's fine, that's good, that's grand. But if you like what you're hearing, like Jimmy King here down in South Carolina, part of the Crown Eater's Life crew, and WeP3 doing amazing things. That was freaking awesome. That's what he said. Well, let's take a little break. And now that I threw Andrea something to do, we're going to ask her to do the news as well.
Okay, one sec. I got this link right here.
You want me to do the call to action?
Here, I got it. I'm already good. There it is.
You got it.
I got it. There is the YouTube link. You got to put it up here, though, really. It doesn't help anybody who's not watching here. Anyway, okay, so let me get back to the news, you guys. We got a few things today. I want to thank Jonathan, who's not here with us, for putting the news together. I'm gonna brief it up because it looks like a lot tonight. It is August Anti-Terrorism Awareness Month, designed to raise awareness not only of the threat of terrorism, but also to encourage regular vigilance and communication to report potential threats. Throughout the month, there is a series of articles highlighting key points for increased awareness of goals, objectives, and measures. The 11th, which is tomorrow, Sons and Daughters Day. It's a day to take a step back from paying bills, surviving current events, and fulfilling life's obligations. Go spend time with your children. Spoil the kids a little. Remind them that through all the ups and downs and all the teaching moments when you've had to be firm, that we as parents want nothing more than to love them. Celebrate all of your children today. Excuse me. August 14th, so in 4 days from now, it is the Navajo Code Talkers Day. Navajo Marines would encode and transmit messages based off a complex Navajo language-based code during World War II, at a time when secret communication was a key to victory. The U.S. would recruit over 400 Navajo men to serve during the war. Hang on one quick second. I think, sorry, Peterson. I think his mic has given some feedback at me. Okay, the U.S. would recruit over 400 Navajo men to serve during the war. The Navajo Code Talkers would successfully transmit over 800 messages without error and undoubtedly help the U.S. and its allies win the war. Deciphering the code was not possible unless the Navajo person is a code talker. To this day, it is the only oral code in recorded history that has never been broken. In 2001, the original 29 code talkers were presented with the Congressional Gold Medal. And then August 16th is National Airborne Day. This is a day to recognize the past, present, and future contributions of American airborne troops in nearly every major conflict since their inception in the Second World War. August 16th was chosen because it is the anniversary of the first airborne assault. This is also a time to recognize the vigorous training that a paratrooper goes through. Jumping from the plane, a paratrooper falls at a rate of 118.5 feet per second until the chute deployment, where they are instantly slowed to a descent of around 19 to 24 feet per second, depending on the parachute type. And I'm 100% sure there are way more physics dynamics to all of that. I think it's amazing. It isn't just troops being airdropped into action. Dogs have also been dropped in to help soldiers detect mines and other hazards after landing. And there are also heavy drops, which might be best illustrated when the U.S. dropped several Sheridan tanks weighing over 16 tons into action during the invasion of Panama. Peterson can maybe help me in a second. Jason Johnson runs K9 Heroes, I think it's called, and gives a lot of respect to those dogs, that service dogs in whatever sector.
Jason's awesome. He's a good buddy of mine.
He just had a post today. I think his name was Mark Tappan.
Yeah.
His dog.
They just passed away.
Yeah, that was quite a touching write-up. They even wrote a book together, so I had to share that. Frank DeMith, thank you. There are so many things coming in. I'm going to throw in one last thing, you guys. We were just starting the show, and Rich sent out a quick message in one of our groups, and they just had it. This is a message from him. We just had an emergency call out for help from one of our sister groups. This is the ask below from Rich. Hey, brothers and sisters, just had a conversation with a local vet who has hit rock bottom. She is unable to work due to unable to work due to hip surgery and is waiting on a Hail Mary from the VA, but she will lose her house in 37 days. She has, I think, 4 kids in the house. Is there any place y'all know who might be able to help her? Please send it. I will get it right to her. She is also a Gold Star mom. We don't have anything set up for this yet. That's me saying this. But I shared out our Pen Pal, Cash App, Venmo, and then you can get a hold of us in any way. I'm going to ask Rich, this is Rich LaMonica, what state, because I know we have help all over the place. 4 kids and a Gold Star mom. She's going to need some help. She's going to need some help and some prayers and a lot of lifting up real soon here. So I put all that out there. Just a quick ask. We will help in whatever way we can. So I trust Rich has done his research on what she needs.
This is where I get a little spicy too, because she's a Gold Star mom. Hasn't she already lost enough? For Pete's sakes, people, let's jump on board and see what we can do and get all the organizations and people lined up so that we can take care of this lady. So gosh dang it. Let's grow. We got this. Hey, it is our time. Real quick, I want us to get to our call to action. I remind my board every month that this is a working group. If you're listening, please come on board. We do work. We are trying to help veterans and first responders that have a need. We're not here to fix anybody. And our veterans and first responders are not broken. It's stuff. And you know what? Here's the other reality. A gigantic portion, I won't throw data to it, but a gigantic portion of our men and women who wore their uniform are fine. They're rolling. Life is good. They've got things lined up. It's fine. But here's our caveat to this. These men and women have seen things they didn't have to see. They saw things because they wanted to make our country and our communities a better place. And because you get to lay your big fat heads on the pillows of freedom daily, these men and women are running into burning buildings while you're running out, wondering why they didn't get there fast. And I know that I'm talking mostly to veterans and first responders on this channel, but we need to figure out a way to get our common 90% folk, we the people, activated into the mission such as this and others in regards to our men and women who have served. So real quick, this is our call to action. Everyone has one of these devices in or around them. You might be listening to your show. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm pointing to my phone. So we do something called Check Your Six. And the first piece of checking your six is making sure you're checking yourself. Make sure you've been out there, you've been doing it, you've been battling it, and you have to do the combat check on occasion. And we call this, I got to get a graphic because it's not going to make sense without the graphic, but we call it SEMER. And in SEMER, you're securing your mental perimeter, man. You're checking out where you're at, what you're doing, how you're going. The E in SEMER, well, I should say the A because I got misspelling, is access your internal threats. What is holding you back right now? This is where the spelling went wrong. Evaluate your connection status. Are you talking to your peers? Are you talking to like-minded individuals in your life that you can pull support and resources from? If you're not doing that, and I'm telling you folks, sorry, this is my platform when I talk this, put it on social media, and this is not talking against what we just did, but you airing your laundry in social media is not the place to do it, my opinion. Reach out to those brothers and sisters that know you, know where you're at, know what you're doing, know where you got to be, and we'll get you taken care of. I already did that one. Commit to a healthy coping. Monitor coping mechanisms. What are you doing? Some people breathe. I'm not a big breather. I'm not that guy. Andrea said earlier, and now it's not even, oh, there it is. Now it's not, I use this guy sometimes, and I just sit here and moosa, and And then those that are on the podcast world, I got my temple massager out, and I'm massaging my temple and my oblongata. Just joking. That's a water boy reference. Andrea, quit eye rolling me for Pete's sakes.
That was a head shake, not an eye roll. That's a head shake.
Oh, it looked like it was all everywhere. So anyway, done that. And then activate your support systems. Get to your people. Let them know. Here's the big part of check 6 or check your 6. In your device, type in, just checking on you. Copy it, paste it to 6 conversations, and send it. Anyone in your contact list. Yes, we are veteran and first responder forward. We are living in a culture and an environment in our world where this helps everybody. Reach out to your brothers and sisters. It's what we're meant for. I don't want to take too long on that because I do got to get a graphic up that says all those pieces, and we'll get there. Today's not the day. Been working on some other stuff, and that's what we got. So check your 6. We'll make sure that we get that up there. It would be awesome. I don't know what you do to start your day off, but I know that every morning I've got like a free 20 to 40 minutes of alone time that I can send 6 out. Now, I don't know they want to hear from you at 4:30 in the morning, but who cares? Who cares? Send it. It's good. Oh, we got this, don't we? We got it. We're going to save some lives, folks. Deibler. Get deep into your mission, brother. Get deep into your mission. Tell us about it.
Well, Mission with Veteran Command, like I said, it's about storytelling, veteran telling stories and using those stories to kind of bring back legacy and the culture that might be lacking. So when I created the product, the DTS map, every veteran that's listening or heard DTS probably gives you your own level of PTSD because the Defense Travel Service was everyone's worst nightmare. So I decided to make the product called the DTS map because, we like to, our humor is dark. So the DTS map that I created, you can probably see it in the back here. It's a way for veterans to show and tell their journey on a push pin travel map. So it's the first ever push pin travel map for veterans. Who travels more than veterans do? So it's a way to put all of your uniform on one canvas, and it tells that tale. So you take your rank, your ribbons, your awards, and you push pin it on there, and then then you display it on the wall. You hang it up on your wall. The shadow box collects dust. No one understands what it means. The uniform goes in the closet, and you never pull it out again. So it's a way to honor your legacy, but also with every pin, there's an intimate story, right? So whenever you say, I went on leave here, and that's the blue pin. Well, what'd you do on that leave? Well, I got engaged. That story will be invoked again every time you touch that pin or you push it in to begin with. The red, when you push in that deployment, I was deployed here. Well, you remember that good, bad, ugly situation that occurred in that pin, and there's a story to be told. It doesn't mean you have to tell it, but you're going to remember it. And I know a lot of veterans say, like, we don't want to talk about it. We just let it go. I'm here to tell you that I bet more veterans would like to share their stories if they felt comfortable to do so. Actually, recently, I hosted an event maybe 2 months ago because I wanted to take this storytelling thing to the next level. So I can show you can see your story on this map. So I hosted an event, and it was called No Shit, There I Was. And that was the title of it. And basically, it was an open mic at a local brewery, and you had to get up and start this conversation with, no shit, there I was, tell a story, say something. And we sold over 100 tickets. We had like 300 people blow out this brewery, Lost Rhino Brewery in Ashburn, Virginia. And it was an incredible moment of laughs, tears, like honor, inspiration. And it was just a really, really eye-opening experience to see how people who don't share want to. We had a case where there was a, law enforcement officer. He came through and he brought his father, Vietnam veteran. and he was sitting right in the front of the Vietnam. He was a Marine Corps veteran, and he's listened to us all share stories, and had a bunch of great guest speakers. They came up to kind of get the crowd going and also share stories. And he was just sitting there the whole time, and then he got up, he got on his cane, walked up on stage, and told a story about him in Paris Island and some of the training and what he went through, and just it's a good experience. It was funny. And then his son is he couldn't control himself because he said afterwards he came up to me, he's like, man, for 45 years I've been trying to get my father to tell me anything about his military service, but what this environment did made him come up on his own and speak about it. And that was the real power that I saw, the impact that could be made by storytelling. So I'm going to do another one. We're going to do another one at the end of October. We're going to keep it going. Telling stories, I think, is important, like I said. And that's kind of the core mission of Veteran Command. And I think having access, right, I'm still in the reserves. I'm still with my people, right? I work full time, the DoD at the Pentagon. So I'm with the military a lot. I have my own stories and experiences. But with that networking that I've had, I've been able to kind of bring together some really key influencers and partners to keep telling stories, not just from the U.S. perspective, even our ally partners all across the pond, from Brits to even the Afghan people, which I'd love to talk to you about. Whenever we talk about another initiative I'm working with a partner group to kind of bring freedom back to that country. But I'll pause because I'll just keep going.
That's
and
awesome.
again, so we tell everyone this is an hour show, and we're at 52 minutes, and we lied to you because we're going to hold you longer than an hour. If you have an emergency or need to get going, or if the honey-do list is important, or she bought you a special dinner or made you a special dinner, please go and eat your dinner. Do not get in trouble. But we would love for you guys to stay as long as you can, or as long, because sometimes we get into a conversation, and I kind of want to have that a little bit, because we not too long ago had a band on called the Kim Donnett Band, and there is a Vietnam veteran in her band, and we brought them on. We're getting into a dialogue. We're having conversations. This Vietnam vet has never shared his story in his life. I mean, we're
very similar to that time.
We're 55 years out of Vietnam right now, and he has never shared his story. And because of the impact of the event, he comes in the post show and starts sharing his story and just breaks down and I'm sorry, he loses it. He doesn't need to apologize. We don't need to apologize. This guy saw stuff that he didn't have to go see, and now is reliving it in this moment. And again, there's healthy ways to relive it, and there's unhealthy ways to relive it. And so they actually ended up making a song about it. We aired it on the not too long after that, and it was just an amazing story, part of the mission we're excited about. Thank you for your amazing work. My brain is going 500 billion miles an hour on how this can be used to save lives, tell the story, get the word out in an appropriate manner. I mean, there are some that just get on and they spill and they spill and spill, and then the conversation ends up, well, my story is bigger, better, and better than your story, and I want to share it now. And I'm just like, guys, that's not what I'm talking about. And this is, if there's healing and growth in it, then let's do it. If it is sitting there to toot your horn and to have a competition, sit back and let's find something else to do. That's my opinion. So, and you can come at me. You can come at me if you need to. I'm not talking about you. You guys can't come at me. Anyone else can come at me. Thank you. I don't know what to say, Mike, because then everyone's ears are going to perk up. But thank you, Mr. Deibler, for your amazing mission. I'm seriously excited, and I think there's some things that we can do to promote what you're doing. And I mean, how awesome would it be to have your what do you, it's a map. It's a map. I want to say poster, but your map sitting there on a cast show like this, as someone tells their story and puts their pins in it as they go, and that would be outstanding.
Yeah. And there's so many different things that I hope to do with this. God blessed me with the great connections and partners, the business partners that have helped me, are now helping me scale this business to a much larger thing that I never thought it would be possible. So there's so many different verticals that we can go with this, with interviewing and doing Netflix style documentaries in these veteran stories. And again, kind of like what I used to say is like, there's the cool guys, right? We can and we honor them. My career is in special forces and all sorts of fun, cool guy, cowboy stuff. But my story is not the point. The truck driver has a story. The cook's got a story. The water purification specialist has a story. And like everybody needs to hear those too, because a lot of those Medal of Honor winners were not special forces operators, right? They were the person who didn't know what to do under the fight or flight. He chose to fight. He chose to save. And those kind of moments, those moments of courage, I think really can impact a lot of people just by hearing it, that 19-year-old who just used to play Call of Duty, never picked up a rifle in his life, defended the outpost, and there he is, a Medal of Honor winner, So those are the kind of impacts that I think we just need to continue to think about and try to illuminate for the communities to see and hear.
One of my favorite pictures, I'm going off our script here. It's not a favorite because of it brings me joy and honor and happiness and that stuff. In the national anthem video, I always focus on the boats, and I don't know the right nomenclature for the boats, but the boats that are going to the beach. There's a picture of the men, quote unquote, podcasters, quote unquote, men in the back of that boat. And I purposefully centered on the center guy in that video. And that kid is no more than 17 years old and getting ready to offboard that boat onto one of the most fiery campaigns in the history of mankind. And it's landing craft. Okay, thanks, Frank. You're the right guy. Landing craft. And it hurts my heart. We just recently put to rest the 102-year-old veteran here in Minnesota, Papa, and he lied. He lied to his recruiters back in the day. I haven't done the math, but he lied to his recruiters and went in as a 14-year-old. And I'm just like, different time, different space, different. I'm a school teacher, folks. I would not want any of our 14-year-olds in the building that I work in or one down the road either. I don't know that there's any 14-year-olds there that I want going over to lock and load on anyone. That's just Andrea's got it. Guy, that one's a little AI picture up a little bit, but that, I want to know. I'm going to do the research. I'm going to find that who that young man was, just because I'm blown away by it. It's just craziness. I'm off another tangent. Mr. Deibler, I think you've got the tools, the resources, and the assets to help us with our graphene dome theme as well, because the concepts are kind of actually the same, and I think that'd be really awesome. I'm supposed to wait till the end of the show to talk about that, but I'm just going to plant the seed right now. Lisenby, you're a patient man.
Time for another song.
See, yeah. I'm just enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
Well, what are you working on right now, brother?
What's that?
What are you working on right now? What are you getting done?
Music wise or like life wise?
Life wise. What we call this segment, what are you doing for your mission? Your music, your life, your wife, your children.
So I mean, at least I guess my mission. Wow, a lot of what I do, at least, when I moved out here, it was definitely a God thing on just lining up the steps on taking this leap of faith to come out here. And I think it was more than to just try to chase trends, try to chase what's popping on TikTok and just what the kids are trying to listen to on Broadway. It's just, so that was not I'm not them. I'm not some 21-year-old kid running around. I've got my scars and the stories that I want to tell. And there's a community out there that I think that needs to have a voice, just like Mike's saying. And, my niche was to try to stop fighting that and just try to put those stories in a more palatable way in a lot of ways, to try to be at least a conduit for a lot of that. So I've been putting down a lot of stuff, just, and, they're heavy songs because they're real songs and they're talking about real things. And I think there's ways to try, and I think music does something that's very unique that transcends just straight to the heart in a lot of ways, whether it's just, cause I think that's why it's a magical tool, but it can be used, for good or evil. And so I'm trying to be on the side where I'm trying to put stuff out there that's going to help folks along the way, even if it's telling them the hard stuff, in a hopefully a softer way to do it. But yeah, I was kind of shuffling through my off script on like, what to play, just cause it's like, I'm going back and forth on a lot of things. And I was kind of I kind of was leaning towards, one I wrote a little while ago. It's not one of the ones I sent you, but it's kind of what you're talking about on, reaching out to folks and, checking your own six. And it's a heavy song. I put, like I said, it's one of those ones I put out an acoustic one just recently, but I wrote it. I've been in my time on the job, I've been to so many, can you say unaliving on here, like the real term, or is it, it's not like, if you say it on like TikTok live or Instagram, sometimes they'll end your feed because they think you're endangering yourself. But I've been to so many suicides over my years, it's just, and you talk about how prolific that epidemic is for the the veteran and the first responder community. So I was trying to come up with a way, how can I try to help communicate to those folks in that hard place that, it's not just the, oh, you're awesome, you're great. And it's just like, sometimes you just need to hear the real truth, and that, you have so much to live for. Like, it's just all true. But when they're in that hard place, they don't really, that doesn't compute. It doesn't get to that core decision-making process where they're at. So the way I kind of approached it was, a lot of times when they're in that hard place, cause I've talked to a lot of folks that have been close to that, you talk a lot of people down off that ledge, just, for figure of speech purposes. And they kind of convince themselves that, the world will be better without them. Their family will understand. Everyone's going to understand. But the reality is, if they even for a moment had a glimpse into how the people they care about, how that pain doesn't stop with when they do their deed, it just transfers to a lot of those people that they care about. And it's the scar that carries on forever. And even if my thought was, even if only one person heard that song and kind of had that gripping perspective of how that pain doesn't stop when they end themselves, it just carries on to the people that they love. Maybe they'll just have a moment of pause, a moment of clarity, and reach out one more time and just try once more. So that's where this came about. It's called Hammer Down. So I hope y'all like it. And hopefully, if anyone's listening, hopefully if you're in that hard space, the folks that you care about aren't going to understand, and that pain's not going to stop when the hammer's down. It's kind of the gist of it. So.
Dark days come, clouds won't break, storms will rise like there's no escape. You only see one way out, but the pain don't stop with the hammer down. You told yourself you get through this, ain't nothing that you couldn't fix. When that day came, gun in hand, you told yourself they'd understand. With the hammer down, the pain began. those you love and leave behind. They try to find the reason why, but their pain came with the hammer down. The day goes on, life don't quit. Those you love won't make sense of it. One more day, just one more chance to reach on out, take a hand, 'cause with the hammer down, the pain began. Those you love and leave behind, they try to find the reason why, but their pain came with the hammer down. They try to find the reason why, but their pain came with the hammer down. With the hammer down.
Amazing.
Thanks, yo.
It's Michael Lisenby. I'd say Michael Lisenby.
Got it.
Hammer down. Oh.
So yeah, some just like I said, that's a part of what I'm doing. It's just I'm trying to take a lot of these hard topics and make them palatable, especially for those that haven't been in those roles or those positions, that try to just humanize a little bit so they can understand. I mean, like I said, we were talking about that other song of mine, Hold On Brother. That's very to the T about how we all respond to those when we're kind of chasing after those calls. When you hear a brother that's pinned down or that's fighting for their life, you burn those wheels down to try to get to them. And then unfortunately, too often that, you don't make it in time, and we lose brothers and sisters out here. And so it's a reality that I think too often people don't factor in the more than just the headlines or like the captions on posts. It's like that once you finish scrolling that post, it's like you don't remember, you forget that whoever's involved in that, it's like that changes their life forever. And it's easy. So it's just trying to make that, like I said, more relatable and understandable for folks that, there's a lot of people that support the military and law enforcement, just because they're good people and but it's just another level when you can help them give a taste or a little, feel it just a little bit. And I think you don't know what you don't understand, and until you really feel it or you have that impact in that way. So this is trying a way to bridge that gap to help them feel that or understand that a little more and humanize it a little more.
That's perfect, man. It's perfect. With what I'm trying to do with Veteran Command and the events, just like hearing this story, hearing these songs, like this is the stuff that people need to hear live. A lot of people up here are not going to get down to Nashville. So I'm thinking, bringing you up and having you perform at the next.
And you're out in Virginia?
Yeah.
Dude, I'd never been there. I'd love to come up to Virginia.
Up here in DC. Yeah. So the next event, ironically, is not, the last one was veterans. This one I hope it's going to be veterans and law enforcement. So I hope to partner with the law enforcement community here, bring in everybody together for the No Shit There I Was. And I'd love to have you come up and perform and be our guest star.
Yeah, I'd love to chat offline about that for sure.
Yeah.
Mark's pumped.
These are the happy papa moments that this is it.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy and awesome and just a blessing. And it's to speak to one of the things that you said earlier, because you were worried about the word suicide and unliving, and it's sad that we've gotten to the place where we have to worry about those pieces. But yet, one of the facilities that I worked at in the past, not recent, just to clarify, just in case anyone wants to hold me to task on that one. Yeah. They sit there and they let the youth in that space watch 13 Ways to Die. And I'm sitting there watching that thing and I'm like, we're going to police everything and we're not policing this. This is why people are doing some of the things that they're doing. And it's like, again, absolute blessing. Took me to my right space in knowing that what we're doing, and then the continued dialogue. Let's grow, man. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, the camaraderie is really, really powerful. You know, when you can sit around a fire, share stories, and you know they might be traumatic stories, but it still feels good because you have your support system to your left and right. Because that's what it was when we were kitted up overseas, when we're kitted up down the street for the Leos, when we're kitted up into the fire, right? So that's the moments that we want. And that's not going to change. That ends up being the therapy that a lot get. So when the wars end, right? We did 20 years in Afghanistan, we left. All those veterans that they're back in the rural, towns, and they don't have the veteran community. They don't have their brothers and sisters right there. And we're busy. We're not picking up the phone. We're less likely to text and be like, hey bro, how are you feeling? Like, it's just not usually a thing, good or bad. I know you said your acronym, we should always do those things. However, it's challenging for a lot of people. So getting together in person at events, I think is the way to really help make a difference in the community of first responders, law enforcement, veterans. So hopefully, I do hope that we all can come together and do something. And
we got to. Yeah, it's been part of the vision of the People's Patriot Project. Mm-hmm. And it is. You get them together. That's why I'm called Paws. I get to put my paws on you, man. I'm not a real touchy-feely kind of person. But when I get to travel the country and walk up to a brother and sister that we've met through the network, and we know that they are in need and support of a relationship. That's what most people need. That's it. I know that someone's got my back. That fixes 90% of everything. Yes, there are some financial restraints that we need to kind of focus on, some others, but to just be able to have a conversation, realize we're all heading in the right direction, working together, good music, good food, fire never hurts. It's not for everyone, but a little beverage, it always helps a little bit.
Dancing in, joining the party.
Michael, did you see that? Pull that one up again, Eichmann, real quick.
Yeah.
I thought the guy had 3 first names, and then that was going to be a problem. It was going to be a red flag for me.
But it's got a Michael in there, so he belongs.
Yeah, it's the Mike show. That's where we're at.
There we go.
So this is all just amazing fun and a great conversation. What is the next bit? I think you already went there, Mr. Deibler. But again, I want to hear about this event that you got going. And gosh, I might have to look up airlines and see where they're at. And maybe we need to live stream some of this stuff and get rolling. An amazing opportunity. Tell us what's the next big thing for Veteran Command.
Honestly, the next big thing is the events. Seeing the impact that event had here in the DC DMV area, that's definitely going to be the pivot as we automate the production, the manufacturing of these maps, having these events. But also, one of the biggest things is giving back. Right? Since I started making these maps, 10% of everything I make goes back to a Special Forces Foundation in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's the Special Forces Foundation, Vigilant Torch, and so I've always wanted to give back to our community in one way, shape, or form. But a big thing is partnering with unconventional partnerships that you might not think would be your next connection, right? Recently, I had a great connection with the Afghanistan United Front. who are veterans and brothers and sisters over in Afghanistan. They came to the event. The General Sami Sadat came and spoke to kind of highlight and illuminate things that we are not tracking here in America because it's not in the headlines, of things we can actually contribute to, that the veteran community that we were really, really a part of. 20 years of life in Afghanistan, American veterans had boots on the ground. So when that goes away in the way that it went away, that's devastating to a lot of veterans. We put in a lot of work. I was there for 2.5 years straight myself. So I'm very, deeply still connected to the Afghan people and want to find ways to help and support them. So using venues like that to branch out of, while still supporting our veterans, maybe the main mission is, but also supporting those that you might not remember or might not be in the forefront of the U.S. Policymakers' mind. How do we support those Afghan refugees? How do we support really Afghanistan to retake their homeland back from a tyrannical government that is now a regime of dictatorship, and people are dying every single day. So how do we win freedom back for that country? And awareness, support, donations, and events like this from veterans who've been there. We fought side by side with our Afghan brothers and sisters. So if we can keep doing that in different ways, because sometimes the government's not going to be there to support if it's not in the political interests. So we got to do it ourselves.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the passion. I love the drive. I love the commitment. I don't know. I don't want to spice it up, but at the same time, do you ever get any pushback on that part of your mission?
I don't. I haven't at all. Period. Whether it's in the workplace, colleagues, friends, community members. I think a lot of it's because no one knew. The average American doesn't really know what's going on because it's no longer sexy. It's not in. They didn't realize that over 1 million Afghan people in Iran were just forcefully moved out of the country. Like you all will leave. Take a bag, they're gone. Your business that you've had for 10 years, you're gone. They picked them up and forced them out of the country because they thought they were a part of the reason why, we bombed them or whatever. All not true. But, dictator regimes were able to just make that decision and expel them. So we take it we look at something like that, honestly, and we look at our deportation, immigration issues and stuff. We are nothing like every other country who can just snap a finger and you're all out or dead. They'll kill you on the street. That's actually happening to 1 million Afghan families. So, and they're going back to not U.S. forces in Afghanistan, not the Afghan government. They're going back to the Taliban, and I think we know who the Taliban are, right? They left that country for a reason, and now they're being forced to go back with a bag and a sack without running water in the country. So. And I don't want to, belay it too much or kind of go too, take the podcast and talk too much about it. But, I just think it's really important for the awareness. And so when I talk about those things and I get the opportunity to speak at these events, proudly, I'm a 20-year military veteran. I've spent most of my career in the intelligence community, special forces world. I still work in the Department of Defense. Not a single soul is against the message that I'm trying to tell people about. So
I love it.
It's a beautiful thing, but I think it just needs more awareness and traction.
I'm tired of hearing the narrative where we've got dumbass Americans who can't even read the directions on a recipe box, which you don't have to, folks, believe it or not. Recipes are a suggestion. You make food how you want to and like to. But these young people who want to have a voice and want to share their voice, but don't know their butt from their ear. And and our media focuses on that crap. And it's absolutely deteriorating to the function of what the actual messages are and what people are trying to really get done. So
you hit
kudos to you, brother.
You definitely nailed it. And the last bit there is it's easy to go out and protest about a cause that you care about, but do something about it, right? The team, the Afghan United Front, they would love to go out and protest, but instead they're making stuff happen. They're taking money and making actions out of that thing. We can go wave all the flags in the street. Just do something about it. Go write some letters. Take your money out of your pocket that you paid for all the things you want for your nice things, and give it to that organization that's going to help feed the people of Gaza. That's going to help, take care of the border crisis here, and whatever it is. Just do something, because I tell you what, a black square on Instagram did not help us during when that happened, right? It didn't help. It didn't change anything. Sharing whatever it is on social media really does. Everyone knows. Do something about it. And I'm not discouraging you from those causes, but I'm trying to inspire action, obviously in the most peaceful way possible. But you know what I mean? And I think we get so happy. We feel like we checked the block because we shared an Instagram reel and we feel good about ourselves and lie our head down in bed. But that's the machine feeding you those dopamine hits so you guys can talk about it in your group chat and then hate the other people that disagree with you. But no one did anything other than to spread more hate. So, okay, I'll shut up.
No, you're perfectly fine, brother. Don't shut up, because I mean there does need to have a conversation. It doesn't involve hate in a lot of the conversations. And just because I don't agree, and I'm just not with you, just because I don't agree with something you say and I politely bow out of that conversation doesn't mean that it doesn't. I mean, we have to fact check everything. There's the truth. Because I've sat in organizational conversations where people literally parrot. They say something that they heard someone else say, and that's it. They didn't go and do the research. They didn't go and do the pieces that validates it, but they're going to repeat it. And that's that stupid. We've played it, and Andrea, he jokingly gets mad at me when I talk about the 8th grade telephone game, and it's not about 8th. She teaches 8th grade. But you put 30 kids in a circle and you say, I like peanut butter sandwiches in the first kid's ear, and you whisper it all the way around, and the last thing they're getting is, you lick frogs. And that's not anything close to what I said. And that is where we run into it. And this is why I like your mission with the maps, because the spoken word, that used to be a way that we got our history passed on to us. There's whole cultures that did that at one time. And that space and place is actually literally gone. And the sad part is we've lost so much history because it hasn't properly been delivered along the way. But everyone used the tools that they have. Here's another new tool that our veterans, our first responders could also use to share your story in an appropriate manner. Everyone knows what we call it, Army cold or Army hot, military cold or military hot. You've all been in that situation where, oh my gosh, and no one's going to get upset about whether your toes are cold. That's not, it's the ugly stuff. And then it's the stuff where I say, you know what? All the misery that I went through, I cherished. And I carry with me in pride. And my service was for me. When people say, hey, thanks for your service, hey, thank you. I politely say, but it ain't none of your business. It's my business. And I appreciate it. Now, some people need that, and that's okay. And I'm not trying to delineate from that. I'm just saying I celebrate every moment. The 14 years as a military enlisted individual, and then the continued adage in my life in law enforcement and my life as a paramedic and firefighter. Those are mine. I get to keep them. I get to hold them, and I love that I did it. And that is when I came out of my firefighter service, the reason why the People's Patriot Project had to happen. I had to find a way to continue the mission, continue the conversations, and grow. The version of me tomorrow will be better than the version of me today because I insist in serving.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. And you're gonna love the sequel whenever the DTS map has a law enforcement edition and a first responder edition coming to you in, I don't know, 2027 or something like that. But that's on the market.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it done.
We'll get it done.
Lisenby, what's the next big thing for you? It sounds like you're going to be traveling up to the Veteran Command and doing your stuff up there here soon. We might God, would it be crazy if we all got to put our paws on each other at that place and celebrate?
Hey, don't tempt me with a good time. No, I think things are like you said. I got a couple different things in the works. You know, both music and offline with other ways I'm trying to help. You know, it's still in the baby stages, like very much baby stages. We're looking at trying to do. Got some funds we're looking to use to both do a twofold thing of making a kind of like a glamping kind of property, but geared towards veterans and first responders, especially with ones that are involved in critical incidents, to have like a reprieve, like, you know, because I know when I went through my incident, you know, the first thing that happens is once the hammer's down, you do the thing. It's like you're put on admin leave until the investigation goes through. And that whole time you're kind of in this, just your life kind of changes real quick. And then it's like having that little way you can just kind of get away and just kind of just turn off your phone and kind of just unpack and let the cortisol and adrenaline wear off and just kind of just unplug. So we're working through some kinks and trying to do something like that to be available for anyone, not just in Middle Tennessee, but really all the surrounding areas. And then secondly, working on the logistics of putting together a training facility to better prepare a lot of the folks out here, at least across, Tennessee. There's a lot of great places and a lot of great agencies that have a lot of toys, but like I'm sure just like in the military, like if you're not in that special cool guy unit, it's like you kind of just get what's left. Same thing with a lot of these smaller to mid-sized departments. It's like they're constrained to the budgets they have, and they got to do with what they got. And so a lot of times their training is just relegated to their annual quals and just to make sure that they're punching holes in the paper effectively. But it's not, any of us in the training world would say that's not training. That's just making sure that which end the bullet comes out of the gun, and enough to where that they can check a box in HR and say that you're able to go do your job. But that's not really preparing you for what you may end up having to do and what a lot of us end up having to do. So trying to put together, that's early stages of a kind of a side pivot from my mission, which besides just music, on actually putting some tangible, not just training together and facilities for that, for specifically for first, like for police and, deputies, and, but then having a reprieve for if you end up having to do that decision, you've got something, someplace you can go. That's, you don't have to make plans for. You can just show up. Here's the code. Go relax, and just trying to just take a breath in a safe place. So those are kind of things we're kind of working on right now. With music and stuff, I've been really getting some great connections with a lot of folks that want to hear these stories like we're talking about. I've been playing some really cool events with some pretty heavy hitters, where they've all got big hit songs, and then they've been throwing me in the mix because they also, like the idea of incorporating some, basically nobodies in the music world, but have stories to tell. So just because you don't have a big record label or a backing, it doesn't mean you got something that needs to be heard. So been getting some good traction with that. And then I play a lot of, it's funny. You've mentioned Project Canine Hero. That's literally the hat I'm wearing. It's their red line, which is their Remember Every Dog Deployed. So I work with those guys fairly often. I've played a lot of events for them because they're based out of here in Middle Tennessee. And it's funny, Jason and I, we go way back. We had it's a quick side story of how we met. I was playing an event, it's just a solo acoustic kind of thing at a place just outside of Nashville. And he was there just with a buddy hanging out, heard me playing a little bit, just thought it sounded good. Didn't really think much of it. And then I dropped a song the next day, and a mutual friend of ours because he was a cop back in Washington as well, like years ago. But we have a lot of cop mutual friends. And so one of them reposted that, and he's like, you could see the gear string. He's like, wait, I literally just saw this guy yesterday. And so he shoots me a message, and it ended up building a really good relationship. And I've done a lot of things with them and fundraisers and the like. So I've got a lot of that stuff in the lineup. I try to stay in touch with that world because it's still very much near and dear part of my heart. And so I'm trying to, but bring the service that I provide now, which, in this case is trying to tell the stories that they're still carrying on every day, by just putting it to music. And, I like to kind of quasi quote like Tyler Childers with, turn these songs into 2x4s to that way I can, build this dream and kind of share the stories with what these boards are going to build. So that's kind of where I'm doing. I'm focusing a lot on, just like I said, turning these real life experiences. I mean, a lot of them are literally firsthand, like my things that I'm pulling from, and then starting to dabble in with, I've got a lot of people reaching out to me like, hey, tell my story, tell this, can you put this to, so I'm getting it's kind of overwhelming at times, because it's one of those things where you want to say yes to it all, but it's like, you just can't, it's just, the capacity is just not there for a lot of ways. But I just try to be at least that drone view, overhead view of just exposure to a lot of this, and just encourage folks like what Mike's doing, just and give people a platform in some manner to just start talking. Because I mean, that's such a big part of it. It's like, you've got to, sunlight's the best disinfectant for a lot of these things. You got to get it out. You got to get it out and just start talking, and but in a safe way that is not going to just, one of the worst things you can do, especially as, especially as men, is like, we're not supposed to show our weak side and show that vulnerability. But when we do finally get that place where you do it, it's like the absolute worst thing is for them to get weaponized against you. So finding those safe spots where you're with like-minded brothers and sisters that you can air that out and start that healing process. And that's really what it's all about right now.
Yeah, we have so much to talk about during post show if you got time to hang out. So
sure.
Really, really cool. Jason is a good friend of the family, and I went down there for the Label 22 launch.
Oh,
with,
nice.
Stephen Cochran, and
so did you get to go down to their property down there, or did you do the one in Nashville?
Did the one in Nashville.
Okay, they've got an amazing spot. It's about 2 hours outside Nashville. They got this massive spot when they've got some really amazing things developing with the support that they have for what they're doing. They're doing amazing work. You go down there, there's so many dogs out there that it's truly amazing what they're doing with that need. So shout out Project Canine Hero.
Project Canine Hero, yes. What do you got for your next song?
I mean, I was thinking we were talking about it earlier. I'm thinking I'd throw out "Hold On, Brother." That one's a heavy one for me. Like I said, it embodies just that idea about when you're, whether you're on just a call, you're patrolling or wherever, and then all of a sudden you hear the tones out that you got a brother or sister that's pinned down, that's in a fight for their life, and you're doing everything you can to try to get to them. And then sometimes you do, sometimes you don't before it's too late. But it's heavy. But it's real, and it's how things are going. So it's called "Hold On, Brother." Another day, another shift. He's working overtime to pay the rent. Praying the time flies to head on home. Got a wife and a baby of his own. Got a wife and a baby of his own. Radio traffic as the shots rang out. Tones went off, we're all en route. Taking deep breaths to calm my mind. Praying to the Lord that we make it in time. Praying to the Lord that we make it in time. So hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. You're gonna be alright, at least that's what I said. Heaven only knows how this ends.
Hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. Hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. Put on up, the wheels on fire. My brother's still pinned, it's down to the wire. Evil still fighting till head was put down. But hear ye quiet as the smoke cleared out. So hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. You're gonna be alright, at least that's what I said. Heaven only knows how this ends. So hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. Hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. A folding flag and 21 guns. Amazing grace is what the bagpipes sung. Final call to rest his soul. The final salute as tears flow. So hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. You're gonna be alright, at least that's what I said. Heaven only knows how this ends. So hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. Hold on, brother, going as fast as I can. Hold on, brother, I'll see you again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I appreciate y'all.
Michael Lisenby with Hold On, Brother. Well.
It's so powerful. Everyone just like, I don't know what to die. It's one of them. We're just like, oof. You know?
That's real life, my man.
That's what it's all about. That's good. I love it.
Yep.
Everyone needs to hear it too. So
I appreciate it.
100%. What hey, get to his Spotify. Nadine, get to his Spotify. That's how they do it.
Hey, thanks, Nadine. Appreciate you. Yeah, we're probably we got a couple of those that were there. I put out some just, so I think all the ones you heard so far tonight. I've got just simple versions out, but gonna probably be just retooling those because just to put full production versions out soon. It's just one of those things where it's just, if you don't keep putting stuff out, Spotify thinks you died, so you got to kind of keep the engine greased a little bit. But you want to do the songs justice, so we'll be doing some further versions of those soon. But as it goes, but I appreciate the feedback.
Well, let's put that on the list to talk about post show. And just for where it doesn't die, is on WP3 Radio, and I actually even got Hammered Down up there during the show while we were sitting here working through stuff. Hammered Down's on WP3 Radio as well. It's not the perfect thing in the fact when you really want to listen to Michael Lisenby, you're going to hear all 200 plus veterans and first responders, but we will be showcasing some clips throughout the week and get Michael's stuff out there. And gosh dang, folks, it's you said it's a tough one for you. Is there ever a time you don't get through those songs?
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely. It was funny you mentioned, was it David Bray? His version of Hallelujah, that song, and that Hold On Brother was the two I played at that, I did. I don't know if I was mentioning, it might have been offline. So I'm doing my second year doing it. I got asked to go out to see over here in Tennessee. They have a, statewide, like, law enforcement officers training association, and they do every year they hold a big conference out in Gatlinburg. They book out this massive hotel, and it's kind of like it's almost like a mini SHOT Show kind of thing where they have all kinds of vendors and stuff like that. But then they all throughout the week, they've got all kinds of like training courses and certifications throughout. So they literally, the association rents out the entire hotel. It's like, like 600 or 700 rooms or something like that. And it's all earmarked for law enforcement. And it's both the trainers, and the officers, all the way up to chiefs and sheriffs. And they come from all over from Tennessee and surrounding states to come out, and they do their training and stuff during the day. But then at nighttime, they've got some events and things like that. Well, they had me come out to one of the nights, play just, a bunch of my songs, just as, the entertainment for one of the nights. But then on their last night there, they do a big formal dinner, and they do a big presentation to honor all the officers that have been killed in the line of duty that year. And then especially the ones that, and to remember the ones that over the course of, at least as far back as they can go, at least for state of Tennessee. But during that, I was asked to play those two songs. And I tell you what, I made a post a while ago. It's like my buddy that coordinated, shout out Daniel Ray. He's a big coordinator for a lot of that for state of Tennessee. Snapped some photos. My wife and kids were there, and I was losing it. I didn't even get through the song. I was so choked up just because I'm sitting there playing these songs in front of a room of about, 600 or 700 cops and, and their spouses. And I just, because it's one of those things where it's why music is so special is that it's just it evokes so many emotions and so many different levels, even just by looking at somebody. And especially when they're your songs and your stories. And then you look out and you see, a lady over there that's hearing it and she's tearing up, he's tearing up. And next thing you know, it's like, you got to step away. And it's like, I couldn't even get through a lot of them. So I just would strum through and I'm just all teared up and it was rough, but I made it through it. And, by God's good grace we go. And, but it was tough, but I got asked back so I'll be doing that again this November. So I'm hopefully going to make through those songs this go around, but no promises, but it's a special time. And it made me, feel like I was still able to provide some, something for this community that I hold so dear to my heart in just this different way I'm serving now, I guess I could say.
You are a beast, brother. Thank you for what you do.
Appreciate you.
It's so comforting and soothing knowing. And again, I'm not a mushy gushy kind of guy. I'm not generally a tear guy, which is kind of weird. Why the red, white, and blue makes me do it all the time. But it's not lost on me what I've been able to experience. And I know that it's my service that has also allowed me to experience the goods and the bad. I mean, let's be honest. But I don't focus on the bads. I focus on these evenings sitting here at 6:00 and the relationships that are created and the growth that gets to be had. And my anxiety, my teacher team thinks I'm funny because I don't admit that I have anxiety and that there's nothing that gets me. My anxiety is that we're not doing enough.
Yeah.
And that if we can just have a conversation with like-minded individuals, focus on the same mission, which again is our blessing because of our show, we will be able to help more. But it will never, in my mind, never be enough. Just like at the end of our national anthem clip and one of our mantras, to remember. You can sit and talk about remembering, honoring, and memorializing everything all day long. But if you're just sitting on the couch eating your ho-hos and bonbons, it's not going to do any. Remembering's not enough, folks. Action. 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 It would do us no good for our firefighters to sit at the table and say, yeah, you can go put some fires out. This is what I would do. I'd use the 2.5 inch, but they're talking about nothing's getting done. Your life and your property is gone. Action. If you want your brothers and sisters, if you want the people to be running into those doors, you better get off your couch and start doing something. It might be writing a check. It might be getting into the links and sending a donation. It might be, these are the real things. Time, talent, and treasure, folks. It is what it is. And both these gentlemen deserve it immensely. So get them taken care of. We are at that space. We're at that time. Miss Eichmann gets to start tonight. Final thoughts. At some point, we do this because there's a connection. I feel like there's been some connection tonight, but I don't know what's behind the curtain, so to speak. So we got a little bit of background music, and Miss Eichmann, go ahead and share your final thoughts.
The background music, I don't know. This is new. All kinds of secrets and surprises today. Okay, I'm going to start with, thank you guys, the Michaels, for being here. I love when there's a connection made, and we didn't plan this connection. We just always hope that there's a connection, and it, I don't know. And there it is. There it is. It happens. So thank you very much for coming and for sharing. And I just want to say I felt the passion and the sincerity through all of it. You guys are very, I don't know. I can just feel it. I can sense it. It's all right there. I actually stole a little bit from Lizenby, and I know Deibler, so when I sent these guys, I know it by email. I called them Mr. Deibler, it felt weird. And hey, Michael, how's it going? Anyway, I stole a little bit to title, and I'm working with it. Stock up the 2x4s and start building your stories. I don't know where quite I'm going to finish that with, but it's in quotes right now. Thank you for that. Build up your connections and your stories and stay, I don't know, grounded. Maybe that's what I'm feeling right now. The grounding. I like that we relate in the whole, we want to help. And Deibler, it sounds like we're kind of on the same path, but our path is bringing in music made by those that serve their communities or serve their country. And so it's going to do something. It's going to be something cool. And then the mutual connections out there, I feel like that's part of the building. If I can tie that all together, it's part of the building pieces that we've been working on. And that I just feel like it's going to become a big reality soon. So thank you for sharing your messages tonight.
Mike Deibler, final thoughts, brother.
Hey, no, thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the team here. It's great to be able to kind of speak with you, hear Michael's message over there about what he's doing. It's super powerful. I'm a mission and morale kind of guy. So I feel like we all need to have a mission and strive to achieve it, especially as leaders, veteran leaders. And I feel like all four parties here are doing that. And probably a lot of those that are listening in have their own mission. So I think, encouraging people to stay on task, keep a mission alive. The worst thing to do is, a man without a mission. That's a terrible place to be at. So I think what we're doing is we're being the force multipliers we were trained to be in the service. And I'm grateful to be a part of this group. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, meet everybody, share my story, my journey, and hope to be a part of this going forward. And we can really keep getting after it. So thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Mr. Lisenby, your final thoughts.
Yeah, and Mike, I'm definitely going to be checking out your flags. I think those look pretty amazing. It's rising tide raises all ships, and like you said, it's too often there's a little bit of room at times for goodwill and gestures, but it doesn't cash a lot of checks, and a lot of times what's the saying? Good intentions is the mother of all screw ups, and you can have all the good intention in the world, but if it's improperly applied or at the wrong time, it's still not doing anything. Other than you patting yourself on the back, giving yourself a feel good. So the more we can surround ourselves with folks that have, like you said, like-minded missions and come together, put egos and personal gain aside and just go, wait, is the mission to actually make a fruitful impact in this area? And if we can do that, the best thing to do is, many hands make light work. And so the more we can do things together and have a common goal and mission, we can move mountains. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's really what the world needs more. Kind of like what you talked about, you were saying earlier, Mark, about how, you've got the average person that they get so, when they don't have a lot of perspective or life experience of how things really are, it's easy to make those mountains out of molehills. And so I think just the world needs a lot more perspective, and the more we can humanize a lot of this stuff and show how it is, not what the social media likes to spin it or give you perspective that way, the more we can really start gaining ground and footing back to where we've already lost so much. So appreciate y'all for doing what you're doing, and just keep this mission, keep moving that line forward. That's really what it's all about. At least until Jesus comes back, we're in this fight for a long time.
Stephen Michael Bearden, thank you for being here tonight. Yes, we will be connecting. Just for the record, and we're working on some other phone options here, but I always put my phone out there for everyone. If you need to talk, if you need to collaborate, if you want to build, 763-238-5971. Text me. I will answer. That's what we do. Just let me know who you are, what your mission is, what you're doing, how you need to help, or how we need to help you. All the above. I'm kind of speechless tonight. That's going to be kind of where I go. I have been touched in a way that I haven't been touched in a long time, and I don't know why, how, or where. It is one of those things. Your voice is soothing to me, Michael. Your messages are appropriate, and I know you have other content. And again, all of the four, actually, we got 5 songs of Mr. Lisenby's up onto WP3 Radio right now. Get there, like, share, do all the things. If you don't know how to find it, where you find it, Andrea had the link up earlier. But it is real simple. You go to Google or whatever you use and type in WEP3 Radio. Sometimes you don't even have to get radio in there, and it comes up right away. You can listen to this anywhere because it's an online radio. And we, like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, we are partnered with Reach Across America Radio as well. They're kind of our mentors in that space. But why did you build a radio station? Well, because a lot of our men and women don't get a chance to have their music broadcasted, and it's really not that hard. And so it's part of our mission. I'm excited to share all the things of where we've been and what we've done, Michael, and we've been blessed. We've been blessed by you guys tonight being here on our show and committing to that, and being. We are blessed by our amazing audience that is here, and great meeting new friends, and the amazing job of the WP3 team, who behind the scenes is getting the work done. We are a working group, and we will be moving forward, and we will constantly be doing that. Tomorrow, 4:30, the WP3 team comes back again to share our specific mission and what we're getting done. We just do it. We don't expect a lot of people to show up to that piece, but we want to get it out there so people know that we are boots on the ground and that we are making a difference. There's 58,000 organizations across this country say they're helping veterans and first responders, and I say hogwash. Less than 10% of those, I don't have direct data. I'll be honest. I try not to lie and mislead people, but I'm just not seeing it. We have 6,000 people committing suicide a year as veterans. It's hard to track the first responders because they kind of fit into the meld of the common folk. But they're 4.5 times more higher to commit or attempt suicide than any other population. So those are the pieces. Next week, we have more amazing guests. Not to undershadow, because it's hard. We don't put a hierarchy on our guests, and we truly build level, parallel relationships. But these guys were amazing tonight. We got another amazing one next week. We got Nigel Fisher, the CEO and president of Guitars for Vets, and another Nashville artist, the amazing Romeo Vaughn. His stuff is stellar. You don't want to miss it, guys. Thank you for everyone that's been here tonight. And please take the time to check your sins. Take your pride. Take your pride.